All right, so it's beginning of April. You can see my lawn is coming up, okay? When I moved into this house, this lawn was terrible. It was actually a rental for about 30 years. No one cared about this lawn. And I worked a lot to get it to the stage it's in. And actually, it wasn't too much work. And what I want to do in this video is kind of share with you a simple process, or maybe like a little bit of a hack on how you can get your lawn looking pretty good. I mean, this isn't no golf course or anything, but it looks pretty good right now. There's a lot of different types of turf coming in. As soon as I get the first fertilizer down and get this a nice couple of cuts, by the end of April, this is gonna look nice and uniform, all right? So what I wanna do is kind of share with you the way you can do this. I'm gonna call it a hack because it's not a lot of work. It's just a simple process. And I'm gonna share the process with you. So every April, what I do is I actually go to a local place. The place I go to is called Lawn Depot, but I know there's a few places that do this around me. And what they do is they offer a 4-step process. You can see this is supposed to be put down in April, June, September, and then November. All right, so this is all 4 treatments that I need to do. This cost me 200 bucks. Before COVID, this was about 150 bucks, okay? But this is the complete system. And I bet a nursery around you has the same sort of thing. The other nursery I know of, you have to go every month and you buy, like in April you go buy it, and in June you go buy it, and September and November. But a nursery near you will have a system like this. Most likely, you're gonna have to call around, maybe some turf management companies, but see if they sell basically a system for your area. In April, what they have here, so it's a nitrogen, phosphate. Again, this is more of a hack. I really don't pay that close of attention on what I'm putting down, all right? So I'm putting down at this point a nitrogen, which is a fertilizer, and a pre-emergent. I'll say this is like a crabgrass preventer. Basically what that is, in April, there's a lot of seeds and like weed seeds in your lawn, and you don't want them to sprout, okay? So that's why in April, when everything is sprouting grass, you don't want those weed seeds to sprout, or crabgrass. That's why you put this crabgrass preventer. Then it's just a matter of maintenance at that point. So you can see then in June, it's a fertilizer. You can see in September, again, more fertilizer. It looks like it might have some of that pre-emergent in it. And in November, it's more fertilizer, but it's a longer lasting fertilizer. This is like a winterizer, okay? So this is for the grass, to fertilize the grass slowly over the winter, so that in the spring, which you can see my grass is exploding. That's what this does, right? So it really helps that. So you can see, I can't cut my lawn right now because it's so wet. So that's why it's so long. Here, this is very thick. Very, very, very thick. I mean, you know, barely any weeds, okay? We're gonna get to that, how to manage the weeds. But see, I do have some weeds here, and I'm gonna show you what to do with that in a second. This is the beginning of April, and this is what it looks like. So it exploded. All right, so now we have moved into the shed. So the 4 bags that I showed you, this is basically just granulars, all right? So to apply this, you just need a spreader, something along the lines of this. I actually bought the smallest one. The reason why I bought the smallest one is because it takes up the least amount of room in my shed. Yes, I have to fill this a few times, but that's really not a big deal, okay? I only use this thing 5 times a year. So I use it for the 4 treatments, the granular treatments, and then I use it at the end of the year to apply my grass seed, my overseeding grass seed, okay? So real simple, you just follow the instructions, talk to the guy there. In my case, I need to keep this open at like 40 to 45%. That's basically how they tell you. Sometimes they'll tell you exactly what number to set it to. But now basically just gonna dump the granulars in here and walk around my lawn and apply the fertilizer and crabgrass preventer. Again, I do this 4 times a year. When I apply this stuff is not good for you or good for your kids. So I usually keep the kids off the lawn until it rains. Some of the stuff has to be rained in, some of it doesn't. So just follow directions. None of these clothes will go straight into the house. I won't walk through the house with these. I will take these off and then we'll go right into the washer, okay? Same thing with the shoes. I will not walk into the house with these shoes. Is this stuff safe? It's safe enough, okay? It's the same stuff the professionals use. You probably don't want to put it down and then like have a party with a bunch of kids, all right? Or be out there rolling around in the grass. Let it rain. But the one that's the worst that you definitely want to make sure you keep your kids away from is the grub control, because that's a pesticide. You're basically killing all the bugs. So you don't want to put that down and then have kids running around out there in bare feet and eating off the grass, all right? So, you know, follow the instructions. The other thing you want to do is you really want to pay attention to the way you mow your lawn, okay? You don't want to scout ever scalp your lawn, you never want to cut it when it's really wet because you're going to tear up all the turf, okay? You also want to make sure your blades on your lawnmower are very sharp, okay? So take them out a few times a year and sharpen them up. There's tons of videos on YouTube about how to do that, okay? The very hot season, like the end of July, August, your grass is not going to grow as much, okay? So don't cut it as much, and also cut it high, okay? I usually cut my grass on the top setting or the second from the top. I never go down to this lower level. I think this is a personal preference, but if you don't have a lot of shade, you know, think about it. If your grass is really short, the shorter it is, the more likely it is to dry out. As far as aerating and thatching, okay, you can do that as well. You can add that in as needed. If you have never really taken care of your lawn, or the people that lived there prior or whatever haven't taken care of the lawn, aerating it probably is a good idea. Maybe that first or second year. You want to aerate it like in the fall. Break up all, so basically so you could break up all the dirt, let oxygen, let water get in there. And then what you would do that, you do that in the fall. So what I would do is aerate in the fall, and then I would put my fertilizer down, and then I would put my grass seed down, okay? And this would allow the grass seed to really get in there, it would allow the water to get in there, and also the oxygen. And then in the spring, everything's gonna kind of explode. As the year goes on, like right now, I have some weeds on my lawn, okay? So no big deal. That's where this Trimec comes into play. So I'll put a link to this down below. I buy a gallon of it, okay? And this is a concentrate. And basically what you need is 1 ounce, and I write right on it, 1 ounce per gallon. I usually apply it with a pump sprayer. So this is a 2-gallon pump sprayer. Get these at Home Depot, Lowe's for about 20 bucks. You put 2 ounces of that, fill this up with 2 ounces of water, walk around with this pump sprayer, and this is actually set up for my mosquito sniper system. This is to keep the mosquitoes out. You basically spot spray the weeds, okay? And the weeds just basically wither away. Now, when you first start, you're gonna have to do a lot of it, but the more you do it, the more you maintain your grass, the less weeds you have. And then you're just kind of just maintaining. So you see my front lawn maybe has 2 or 3 weeds in it. I'm mixing some stuff up today, go out there, just give them a little spray. Now, usually I go out about once a month and I comb my entire yard and I spray any kind of grass weeds that I see that I don't like, all right? This is actually something that was sent to me by Petro Tools. This is actually pretty cool. This is a battery-powered sprayer, okay? So you mix the chemicals in here, it's a backpack. So I haven't used it yet. I'm gonna use it very soon. Ghostbusters. And this is battery sprayed, battery powered, and it has a bunch of different nozzles. This is super, super, super cool, all right? So the first year, like I said, I had to do a lot. I was going around spraying probably hundreds of weeds. Today I'll go around and maybe I'll spray 20 weeds in the whole yard. Next year, maybe it'll be 10. And then probably, I doubt it'll get any less than that, but the stronger and the more grass you have, the less room weeds have to grow. So that's my Trimec, about once a month between April, say November. Also, what I do is I overseed in the fall. So around November, when you're doing that last application of fertilizer, I also overseed. So I will buy a giant bag, 10,000 square foot bag of seed, and I will overseed the entire property. Now, probably a really good idea. It costs you about $100 in grass seed for a 10,000 square foot lawn. I usually get it on Amazon. I'll put a link to the ones that I get down below. It's on green. But it works very well. So it's basically, I'd say maybe like a 6-step process, okay? So you have your 4 ones that you do every year. Reach out to a local nursery, a local turf management company, see if they sell a program. Then you got your Trimec. This is to maintain your weeds. This kind of once a month you go around, especially through the summer and during those weed growing seasons. Spray your Trimec. And then at the end of the year, overseed. And if you want, maybe aerate or maybe power seed it. You know, you can get into crazier things. I'll tell you what, I'm very, very, very happy with my lawn. Within a month or so, after mowing it, getting that first fertilizer down and letting it all kind of even out, it's gonna look great. It looked great last year. I expect it to look even better this year, all right? So it's kind of a long-term investment, but it really pays off in the end. And it's just a little bit of work every once in a while. If you go out there and at one time a year and you just do a bunch of work and then you go, oh, I'm good for, you know, I'm good till next year. Now, lawn's not gonna like that. Okay, lawn needs a little bit of work every once in a while, okay? Just a little bit of love and you're gonna turn out with a good product, okay? So I'm Mike, Family DIY TV. I really hope this helped you. I ask you to visit www.familydiytv.com and I'm out.